Hi there, my name's Dan.
And I'm Suzie, and together we're a Duzie.
And we're in our kitchen today answering some questions we've got about peace and anxiety.
So the kitchen is a great place for us. So many times we process life and hard questions like this around the table.
And you're looking at us, but we're looking right out to our backyard, and it is beautiful today.
It's stunning, and my amaryllis Christmas flower is right there. I'll show
we
it
just
later.
picked this off our plant.
This is our camellia bush that's over in the corner of our house, and it is blooming beautifully.
But to the questions.
This
may take a little longer than most of the time because we want to answer these questions.
Let's have a look. So here's some of the questions that came our way. We'll start with one for you, Dan.
Okay.
Is all anxiety a matter of choice?
No, I don't think all anxiety is a matter of choice. I think there are some people, probably many people, who, because of depression, because of maybe some kind of mental illness or stress beyond their control, have anxiety. And I think it's always important to talk to others about our anxiety. And sometimes we need professional help, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I would say what we've been talking about is about choice. A lot of people can just choose to move through it, but there are times you just can't get over it. You need to talk to someone about that.
You need professional help.
Okay,
you got one
Susie's.
For me?
How do you calm your anxiety?
Oh, that's a great one. How do I calm my anxiety? I am an external processor. So for me, processing it out, because I don't always know the truth. So having somebody to talk to and bounce my thoughts off of is very important. Coffee, great connections with friends, or even people that I've just met is really important. Walks with Dan.
Is it coffee calms you down?
Yeah. It gives me a bit.
I've never had a cup of coffee, so I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, so you don't know, do you?
I don't.
It's good. And also the verse from Philippians 4 about do not be anxious about anything. I go through that whole verse. I've memorized it, and I do each part of it. Don't be anxious. Present your request to God. Pray. Okay, keep praying, and be thankful. So those are really important besides the processing with people. That helps me calm my anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Question for you. How do you live at peace during life's hard times?
Oh, man. There will be hard times. There will be a lot of hard times, but we can't be on a roller coaster. Peace sometimes, no peace at other times. And I think as followers of Jesus, we have to realize He's got it in control. Today, my mom had a surgery
a heart
process on
sure.
her heart. And easily it's what's going to happen, and all these thoughts are going to come out. And I remember yesterday on the phone just coming to that place going, you know what? God's already seen past the surgery. He knows. Not that the outcome He necessarily chose. Sometimes life just happens. But there is no surprises with God. And so that's one thing that really helps me in the hard times to know this situation, whatever it is, isn't bigger than God.
Mm-hmm.
And I can choose to bring down that anxiety, and it may be by going to talk to other people. Sometimes maybe medicine, sometimes sleep. But there are hard times, and I think we can go through peace with it, but we can't deny our feelings either.
Sure.
Your turn. When you think of peace, what images or places help?
Oh, this is a good
space
one for
question.
me. So places and spaces are very helpful for me. Actually, flowers are very calming. So we showed you this one. I want to show you. This is my Christmas amaryllis.
This is beautiful.
Is that beautiful? It just popped out. So I can look at that and I can just think about the beauty that God created. It's so big to be in the video. You wouldn't see me.
She gets so excited about this plant. It does give her
peace. And you moved my candle. Where did my candle go?
The candle's down here.
Okay, candle. So just a little demo here. So every morning I wake up. This was a thing I could not do on the ship, and I'm so happy to have it back. I light the candle, and this begins my morning pages. This begins my time with God. It is such that already takes me to a place in space. Nature is also very helpful for me. Taking a walk and just being able to like physically process. Oh, a beach is always fantastic for me. A woods hike is a place that always brings me a lot of peace. And when I can't go there, then I do things like look at nature, light my candle. And another place is just a place with my journal that I can process my thoughts, especially when I don't have another person to help me.
One thing we do every morning to start our day is we make our bed.
Yep.
And you may think, well, it's silly, but even in the midst of where there's some things you can't control, you can always make your bed. And
somebody told us long ago, the people who make their bed are successful. So we make our bed and say, we're going to be successful
every
today.
morning. It's like, successful? Yep. And it just brings laugh and it brings some anxiety down.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, here's another question for you. If peace is a fruit of the Spirit, is anxiety sin?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
Well, the Holy Spirit is the Spirit of Jesus. And He wants us. I think He created us to live at peace. All the fruits of the Spirit that's what when the Spirit is alive in us, those things should come out. But is it sin? I don't think it's sin. I think part of living in a fallen world is there are things that disturb us greatly. In our world, on our inside, choices we've made. I don't think it's a sin, but I don't think it's the best. And when I'm living life to the full, I realize God's Spirit is moving in me and through me to be at peace and to bring peace to my world. So your question, what are practical ways to bring peace? So these are practical ways that bring peace to your body.
Okay, so I wrote a few things down in preparation. So one is exercise. When I exercise, I burn off the toxins. I don't always want to exercise, but it's so good for me. And we're trying to get 10,000 steps per day and try to get our exercise in. And honestly, exercise makes such a difference. I already spoke about people. People in my life are the ones that help me. People that isolate or go off by themselves and cut themselves off, especially from good friends or good influences of peace, they have a more difficult time. So people, but not just any people, the right people to process your world.
Because the wrong people can bring you anxiety.
That's right. Another practical way is to examine your thoughts. In 2 Corinthians, it says, capture every thought and make them obedient to Christ. So I like to have this picture of capturing my thoughts, have an examination of it, look at it, and identify these thoughts that I am repeating, echoing thoughts. Are they healthy for me or not? So examine your thoughts. That's what journaling does for me, and process writing that down.
I think part of that as well is if you're not in a good relationship with someone, if there's conflict, and you start in your mind thinking, well, this must be what they're thinking, and this is what I would say because they do this and they always do this, your mind is taking you someplace that is not true. You don't know that's the truth. And that will always stir up anxiety. So
ask for forgiveness or resolve the conflict. Another very practical way to bring peace is sleep. How is your sleep? Are you getting enough quality sleep? This is something that affects me a lot. I need more sleep than Dan, and if I go to sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time as him, I'm not okay. I need more than that. So sometimes I need to go to bed earlier or sleep later.
And we found something that really helps our sleep is you don't take your phone to bed.
Yeah,
it just helps.
It's very helpful on many levels. Another practical way is commitment. What is your commitment level to the things that you're involved in? If you are overcommitted or you have too many things to do compared to the time that you have them in, there's going to be anxiety in your life. So try to cut down some of those commitments. See what is absolutely necessary for me to do or things that other people can do. For example, in our house, I usually end up doing the dishes because I actually like it. I don't mind it, and I'm quite good at it, and I think of it. and Dan doesn't always. But this morning, there were so many dishes, and I said, do you mind washing those few and put those ones in the dishwasher? And it was hard for me to ask him to do that, but he did a great job.
I said, no, Susie, I would love to do that. And I enjoyed it. It was serving her.
You didn't sound very love to do it. Anyways.
I just don't like wrinkled fingers. Fingers.
You didn't get them, did you?
I didn't. It was amazing.
So good. And then, of course, we talked about earlier prayer. So don't carry the anxiety on your own. The communication with God. I love the Psalms because it gives us such an example of David taking the hard things and the amazing things to God. Sometimes in the same chapter, like, oh, woe is me, this and that are happening, it's terrible. And then in the very next verses, but I praise you, God.
Yeah.
So he has such a good balance. So if you're feeling anxious or not at peace, maybe read some of the Psalms. I always go to the Psalms when I'm in a stressed situation because it gives me the permission to know that God really cares about whatever it is that I'm feeling or thinking. So that's just
last question.
Some practical ways. Okay. All right. Of course, we have to have this
question. I love this question.
This is the world peace question.
Peace.
So,
what do you want for Christmas? World peace.
Josiah put that on his list.
I know.
Always Josiah says world peace. But what would it take to have world peace? What do you think,
I think
Dan?
Since the fall of creation, there will not be world peace. Matter of fact, even Jesus said, I have not come to bring peace. But I think inner peace, that's what Jesus is about. And I don't... The earth is not heaven. The earth is the earth. And there are people with very selfish desires. And as long as people are on the earth, it won't be at peace. But I find that as people are at peace, there's more peace in the family. There's more peace in the community. And there's more peace in the country and in the world. So is world peace going to come to the whole world? I don't think so.
It would be great.
But it comes to people and then they pass it on.
Well, so thank you so much for your questions. If you have any further questions, please message us and let's talk about it. If you have further comments, or emotional outbursts, woo!
You can just message us we will just send you back a reply.
Yeah, voice note or a message. We love hearing from you. Thank you so much for those of you who presented these questions and for those of you who will continue the conversation.
And let me show you what takes away Susie's peace. She doesn't like when I do that. Anyway, we are loving life.
And we're seeing good days. I saw better days with a candle, but okay.
See you tomorrow.
'Tis life. All right, have peace and not anxiety.
It's not off.